Hello, good afternoon and welcome to the Midday News. This bulletin is coming to you live from our studios here at Kokumlim Lane, Accra, on digital address GA0993341 on Joy 99.7 FM. It's also live on Love 99.5 FM in Kumasi, affiliates across the country on ABN Radio in London and around the world at myjoyonline.com. The news is brought to you by UMB Bank. UMB Speed Up Digibank. Let's go. Coming up, as the opposition NDC sets deadline for picking up forms for presidential primaries inches closer, we'll hear from two NDC flag bearer aspirants who say they will not pick nomination forms hours to deadline set, insisting the process is legally flawed.
We have a problem with the process, with the timing, with the amounts, with the philosophy, the social democracy, and a whole lot of things which are all in right.
Even though the NEC has the powers of doing things, they erred by not consulting the National Council of Elders.
We will be live at the NDC headquarters as two others who've equally complained about the 400,000 cedi filing fee head there to pick their forms. Also in this package, President Akufo-Addo assures his government is on course to deliver the economic change he promised ahead of the 2016 general elections.
They're an indication of what is possible if we put our mind to it and stop yapping and picking on things that don't matter and get on with the business of building our country.
We will get a live update as he embarks on a 3-day tour of the Greater Accra region. And Chairman of Parliament's Communications Committee and MP for Asin Central, Kennedy Agyapong, hints the ban on small-scale mining will be lifted sometime next week.
We are ready to lift the ban, and now anybody who wants to do the small-scale mining has to register and get a license.
Sports.
The board chairman of the National Sports Authority, Kojo Bajman, feels the country is not ready to bid for the 2019 Africa Cup of Nations hosting rights. Details coming up in 20 minutes. And
Joy News' Justice Beidou wins 2018 Global Health Reporting Contest after two of his documentaries, including one on child malnutrition, were judged the best from more than 150 entries.
Heavily malnourished child desperately crying for help. He looks so emaciated, you can even count his rib bones.
We've got details, do stay. Thanks for your company. I'm Bernice Abubeidou Lansa. The details now. Two NDC presidential aspirants, Kojo Bonsu and Ekospio Gabra, may not be on the NDC's flag bearer ballot on January 19, 2019. Now, they've said they will not pick the nomination forms they describe as expensive, insisting the party has breached its regulation by not consulting the Council of Elders in fixing the fee. They have up until close of the day to change their minds, but two of their colleagues who have equally raised concerns about the 400,000 cedi filing fee are already on their way to the party headquarters to grab their forms. We'll take you there shortly. First, take a listen to former Trade and Industry Minister Ekospio Gabra and former Kumasi Metropolitan Chief Executive Kojo Bonsu on why they wouldn't participate in the process.
That this process is not legitimate. The first thing is, have you consulted the National Council of Elders? It's in the Constitution.
But his argument that you shouldn't go with threat. That's a threat.
No threat.
You're boycotting. I'm not going to pick the forms.
It's not a boycott.
You know,
we are asking for the petition to be heard. And then when we have new guidelines, we will comply.
His approach is that I'll buy the forms, but I'll continue the fight.
Well, that's his view. I mean, you can't prevent anybody from having a different view. We have to respect all views. 8 people thought a certain way, 1 person thought another way. But the bottom line is that we have a problem with the process, with the timing, with the amounts, with the philosophy, the social democracy, and a whole lot of things which are all in writing.
In 24 hours, in fact, less. And let's coming now to how can this be resolved realistically within the time frame you have, knowing what the executive has said tonight, Mr. Bonsu. In 24 hours, I think the party will close the picking of nominations, and you'll be disqualified if you don't pick a form.
Fair enough.
You don't mind being disqualified?
I don't mind. The proper thing must be done.
I see. The
proper thing must be done. Let me tell you something. If the Council of Elders call a meeting with NEC...
That's a huge if.
Let's hope so. If they don't, it's up to them. And everybody is watching. The whole country is watching. The whole world is watching what NDC is doing. If we're doing right or wrong, everybody would know. As you have just made your conclusion. But the issue is, I think there should be an amicable settlement. they should come to us. We all sit down, we jaw, we find where there are loopholes, we seal it, and some.
Well, John News' Kenneth Awoche is at the NDC headquarters and joins us live. Hello, Ken. Which aspirants have made it to the office to pick their forms?
So just a moment ago, team for Professor Joshua Alabi arrived at headquarters to pick nomination forms for him. And prominent among them was former Second Deputy Speaker of Parliament, Ken Drasa. He led Professor Alabi's entourage. He was accompanied by Richard Koshiga, who's also spokesperson for the team, amongst others. So as we speak, since morning till now, only Professor Joshua Alabi's team has arrived to pick nomination forms.
Thank you, Ken Awoche. But are you getting any indication that any of the other aspirants will be arriving anytime soon?
That's what we are picking up, but it's not certain at the moment. We have to wait to see whether that's going to happen. But another thing was that a concern was raised by Ken Drasa regarding some house cleaning that he needed the National Executive Committee to conduct. He is saying that there have been members of the National Executive Committee who have pledged their support for some aspirants, which he says creates an uneven playing field. So he's hoping that the leadership calls all those individuals to order to ensure that every aspirant is given a fair chance in the upcoming primary.
Thank you, Michael E. Ken Awoche, there reporting from the NDC's headquarters. Now, President Akufo-Addo says his government is on course to deliver the economic change he promised ahead of the 2016 general elections, commissioning a $50 million food and beverages company under the One District, One Factory initiative. President Akufo-Addo said government has so far made available 270 million cedi stimulus package for 16 companies to expand, increase production and create jobs. The president is on a 3-day tour of the Greater Accra region. Presidential correspondent Elton Broby joins us on the line with more. Elton, tell us more about this company and government support to it.
Well, so Bennett, this is Healthy Life Beverages Limited. They are into the manufacturing of fruit juice, and then they also export to the West African market. Now, according to the managing director of this particular company, they got a stimulus package of almost $50 million. And because of that, they've been able to expand. They've employed over 1,000 people, but they require more. They required over $10 million to expand more, bring in more farmers to, grow more soya beans, pineapple, and oranges so that they can even export beyond the borders of Africa. President Akufo-Addo said that the One District, One Factory initiative is part of government effort to revitalize local industry. What is happening or what happened this morning is a testimony to the government vision of ensuring that Ghana industries are able to export to Africa and beyond, create the needed jobs, and ensure that the government mantra of growing Ghana beyond aid is achieved. We can listen to him more on that.
2 years of the policy, first and second year in which we are in, nearly 300,000 more young people have gone into senior high school than before. The people who oppose the policy, the very people who oppose the policy, are saying that when they come back to power, God knows when that is going to be. But when they come back to power, they're now going to review it. A policy you oppose, you're now going to review it. What does that mean? You're going to come and collapse it. Is that not what it means? It means you're coming to collapse it. We are not going to allow this policy to go back again in this country.
Well, Elton, we understand that the president also touched on the free senior high school program and how his government may resist any future review.
Exactly, and I'm sure that is a soundbite you just played. Essentially, what he's saying that government in the coming days will put before Parliament a bill or an ally to give legal backing to the free senior high school program so that any future review will not be successful. But as I speak to you right now, we are at the Tema New Town where President Akufo-Addo is about cutting sword for where to start on the interior roads within the Tema New Town enclave. But earlier, he visited the ongoing works at the Tema roundabout where he expressed his satisfaction with the work done so far, but assured contractors the government will make funds available to complete the outstanding works and also start work on the expansion of the Tema motorway.
All right, Elton, thank you very much for the updates. The president is on a 3-day tour of the Greater Accra region and will bring you more as he's expected to visit other places. Now, the Ghana Health Service is denying claims by the minority in Parliament that the drone for blood distribution project is inflated. The minority in Parliament yesterday accused Vice President Mahmoud Bawumia of fraudulently and criminally inflating the deal that will allow for the use of drones in the distribution of blood. According to minority spokesperson on finance, Kesalato Forsen, the company to execute the project, Fly Zipline, will be making over 600% profit on the deal. But Director General of the Ghana Health Service, Dr. Nsia Asare, at a media briefing in Parliament, said the kind of drones to be used are not the same as those the minority is describing.
Who has done it and proven it and done it in the African terrain? Even all over the world, there's nobody doing distribution of medical products, because it's very important that the products that they are delivering are also not destroyed. So they build air vacuum and everything so that when it lands, there will be no problem. And somebody also has Civil Aviation Authority. The Civil Aviation Authority has gone to Rwanda. They are waiting for us to go through Parliament and everything. And the Zipline will apply and they will get the authorization. If Zipline doesn't get authorization, they cannot start operation. And as I said, what somebody will ask also, after 4 years, what happens? And as I said, at 4 years, we'll sit down with them. The relationship will be so good that even maybe after 4 years, Zipline Ghana has become purely Ghanaian company, where Ghana will be doing it at themselves. So thank you and for everything.
You heard the Director General of the Ghana Health Service, Dr. Nsia Asare. Let's head to Parliament now. Parliamentary correspondent Joseph Opoku Gakpo joins us live. So what else has the health official or Director of the Ghana Health Service been saying, Joseph?
Well, he says this particular project will give Ghana the most advanced healthcare services. He says that they will not... this is important because there have been situations of rural communities lacking blood, and this would help deal with those particular situations, and that it would also be used to distribute even snake venoms and other such materials that the 1.5 kilogram drone can take. He's been explaining how come the project is being so sourced. He says Zipline, which is the company implementing this, is the only company that is doing it anywhere in the world, and Rwanda is the first place that they've been doing such a thing, and that's the motivation for which they went straight for him without opening up the process for any kind of bidding. He's also been indicating that as far as the cost is concerned, is the most efficient of costs that they negotiated, and so it's not an inflated project.
Thank you very much, our parliamentary correspondent Joseph Opoku Gakpo there. Now, Chairman of Parliament's Communications Committee and MP for Asin Central, Kennedy Agyapong, says the ban on small-scale mining will be lifted sometime next week. The Akufo-Addo administration in February 2017 imposed a 6-month ban on all forms of small-scale mining activities in a bid to clamp down on the destructive activities of illegal miners. The ban, which was initially expected to be lifted by the end of October last year, was extended by another 3 months. Well, today, Chairman of the Communications Committee of Parliament, Kennedy Agyapong, has given the biggest hint yet on when the ban will be lifted.
There have been a series of meetings that have gone on, interventions, and now we realize we are ready to, lift the ban. And now anybody who wants to do the small-scale mining has to register and get a license. About 25 acres, 500 Ghana cedis. I don't think that is very, very expensive. Even the EPA license is about $2,500. Anybody who wants to do small-scale mining should be able to pay that. Some were of the opinion that even the 500 Ghana cedis for 25 acres is too small. But we don't want a situation where when you lift the ban, you use financial to discourage a lot of people. That is why we're being flexible. I know the specific date, but I don't want to take the wind out of it. I want the president or Dr. Fumpo Boateng to come out and tell Ghanaians. I will not mince words. The soldiers who went there, the Operation Vanguard, they were so corrupt. So corrupt. So I don't know whom to trust again.
Finally, for you who is very interested in our mining and wants to see a better regulated mining sector, what do you suggest we do so that we don't come back to these issues over and over again?
What those who are going to monitor these small-scale miners, they should be sincere to the government. They should be sincere to themselves. They should be sincere to the nation. and not go and amass wealth. Because yesterday, a soldier came to me to tell me that I should help him go and join a team that BISU is forming so that he can also make money. I said, wow, you have failed. I'm not going to do it.
You heard there Kennedy, Japan. Meanwhile, Lands and Natural Resources Minister Kweku Asoma-Treme has been speaking about the activities of Operation Vanguard deployed to fight illegal mining. He says the activities has caused or created a progressive end to pollution of river bodies across the country. He's been addressing the media in Accra from where Nancy Dradosi joins us live on the line. Nancy, first of all, did the minister say anything about lifting the ban on galamsey or small-scale mining?
Right, so throughout his speech just about an hour ago, he has so far not mentioned anything about the lifting of the ban on the small-scale mining, nothing at all. And so just before I said that, there's a question I was posed to him as to why he hasn't mentioned that, but he's yet to answer. So throughout his speech, he has mentioned nothing about the lifting of the ban on the small-scale mining, except to tout, the achievements in the fight against illegal mining in the country.
Thank you, Nancy Dradosi. They're giving us updates of that media briefing by the Lands and Natural Resources Minister Kweku Asoma-Treme. Let's stay on mining issues because in spite of ongoing prosecution of a Chinese woman Aisha Huang for illegal mining, she appears to be far from giving up the trade. A special operation by an interministerial task force on Monday at a mining site said to belong to her in the Ashanti region led to the arrest of 2 persons and seizure of 6 excavators. The team had earlier, about 3 weeks ago, seized these excavators at the site at Bipo Tintin, Amansia Central District. Erastus Asare Donko joined the task force on the latest operation.
On the road to Bipo Tintin, the visitor comes across rivers Oda and Ofin, which look milky and dirty. A casual look at the water gives little or no hope of survival for marine life. Tubes lead in and out of the water, pumping mud and chemical residue from illegal mining sites. Deep in the forest of Amansia Central, the devastation is huge, despite government's ban on small-scale and illegal mining still in force.
It's been 3 weeks since the Inter-Ministerial Task Force on Illegal Mining visited this site at Bipo Tintin. They believe this particular site belongs to Miss Aisha Huang, the Chinese woman who is currently being prosecuted for illegal mining offenses. They seized 3 excavators from this site. That's 3 weeks ago. Today they are here to check whether indeed workers have come back to the site to work. And as we came in, we saw about 4 excavators actively mining in the same site they destroyed 3 weeks ago.
An Accra High Court earlier this year ordered the arrest of Miss Aisha Huang for engaging in illegal mining. She and 3 others are currently standing trial. The Interministerial Task Force, however, says she's back into mining with impunity, hiding behind her Ghanaian collaborators. Upon seeing the team, the Chinese miners fled the scene and left behind their Ghanaian workers, one of whom, a Chinese, was picked up. A Ghanaian accomplice who was later arrested confirmed working for Miss Aisha Huang, but will not disclose her whereabouts.
Aisha Ephraim, a Chinese woman. Many fans are known for Chinese people. A small scale mining, illegal mining. Mr. Bonsoni Brakobi, na Aisha.
The team also destroyed water pumping machines and other equipment at the site. 2 leaders of the Interministerial Task Force, Muniru Ahmed and W. Isaac Nyako, expressed shock at the impunity with which the Chinese national defies a mining ban.
Erastus Asare Donko, they're reporting from Bipo Tintin in the Amansia Central District of the Ashanti region. To some other issues now. A member of the Weja Kaswa Ridge Assessment Team, Ahmed Nangtoma, is calling for re-engineering of the area to protect it against a potential mudslide. Mr. Nangtoma, who is part of a team of experts visiting the area, described the situation as very dangerous. Here's Ahmed Nangtoma speaking to Joy News about what he thinks could be the solution to the danger on the Weja Kaswa Ridge.
When we saw it, we made some recommendations, NADMO and the national security concerning this whole problem. And the first one was to stop further redevelopment of that area so that it can be resolved. I mean, an engineering solution could be found to the cracked side of the hill and the erosion that was actually developing deep gullies and with the potential to move the sand onto the lower ground, which is the buildings below and towards the road. We followed up, but the change of government led to a stall in all these arrangements. So recently, we are tasked again to go revisit the area and see what has been done. The gullies are becoming bigger and bigger, and there is a whole chunk that is actually just hanging. It is not attached to the original rock. It's just hanging with erosion going deeper and deeper, and we are afraid that with any heavy rain, that one will move. And if it moves, we can have an issue like the Sierra Leone kind of mark slide on our hand. And a lot of buildings just below that, they find an engineering solution to it as quickly as possible. Something disastrous could happen. Even if you still move them and the place is not re-engineered or stabilized, the mountain could still move. So moving them probably for their own safety, yes, it will be like a first solution before the mountain can be re-engineered. But before then, a team needs to be put together to assess the whole thing and see how it can be re-engineered.
Member of the Environment Committee in Parliament, Joseph Kwam, has also been explaining the danger the ridge poses to residents. He says continuous human activity in the area can cause dire consequences. He spoke on the AM show on the Joy News channel on Multi TV.
The soft rock, that is the soft mass of the earth, is now eating into the hard rock. And even within the hard rock, you see some cracks and damages within. So those people on top, I'm talking about the buildings, are putting lots of mass. And what do you think will happen? Now, if it rains, water may collect into these crevices, these faults, that is the bigger crevices. This will force pressure into the earth. It's going to cause serious disturbances because these natural tendencies that can cause this. But if we as human beings decide to build to cause more pressure within the truss line, definitely there's going to be a serious issue.
Joseph Kwam is member of the Environment Committee in Parliament. You may not have been to the area to see the ridge, which is now hanging with a very weak base. You can check out photos taken by GJA Photojournalist of the Year and colleague David Andor on myjoyonline.com for those horrifying details. You're listening to the Midday News on Joy 99.7 FM. Still to come, blocked from entering Parliament and now ignored by officials of the Works and Housing Ministry. Ghana's disabled community demands fairness from institutions of state.
That the leadership of Parliament must take note of this and address it because we all have right to access the Parliament.
And Joy News' Justice Beidou wins 2018 Global Health Reporting Contest after 2 of his documentaries, including one on child malnutrition, were adjudged the best from more than 150 entries.
Heavily malnourished child desperately crying for help. He looks so emaciated, you can even count his rib bones.
We are looking at the sockets. We are looking at...
Her job is to give your home the perfect finish. This Wednesday, the Joy Business Van is with CEO and Creative Director of Zoe Creative Services, Zoe Ekumia. She's got over a decade of experience in interior designing, and she certainly got the Midas touch.
As soon as I'm in a space, if it's cluttered, I'll be thinking, this shouldn't be here, that shouldn't be here, if you move this here. So my brain kind of works that way. Or if I was driving and I saw a building, I would start rearranging things in my head. Like, oh, the balustrade should have faced here, you know, the porch should have been this other angle. So constantly, I don't know why I didn't do architecture.
The Joy Business Van on TV, radio, online, and on the ground. It is powered by Joy Business and supported by EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank.
My name is Kwame Sefakai, and most of you know me as a media personality. But I am also a family man. The UMB mobile banking app, UMB Speed App, saves me so much time by letting me do almost all of my banking transactions on my phone. The cardless withdrawal feature allows me to withdraw cash from any UMB ATM without an ATM card. I can also pay bills, transfer money, request for a loan, invest money, and so much more. So now, I can spend less time at the bank and more time with the ones I love. Bank anywhere and anytime with a UMB mobile banking app, UMB Speed App, and get the time to do what you love most. Download the UMB Speed App from your Android, iOS, or Windows phone today. Call 0302-633-988 for more information. UMB Speed App, Digibank, let's go!
Thanks for staying on the Midday News on Joy 99.7 FM. Time now for sports. Ridwan Asante, what's happening?
Now, CAF is looking for an emergency host for next year's Africa Cup of Nations after taking the rights from initial host Cameroon with 7 months to the start of the tournament. South Africa has pitched to replace Cameroon, but others say Ghana can pull off a great hosting display on the back of the just ended Africa Women's Cup of Nations. But board chairman of the National Sports Authority, Kojo Bajman, does not think we are ready.
Ghana is not ready to host this 24th Nations team tournament. You know, just a few days ago, we were done with the 8-team AFCON, and I'm not saying that we don't have the needed facilities, but when you look at the time frame and the facilities that is at our disposal now, there's a lot of work to be done. And looking at the time, I fear that I would say that Ghana is cool. Ghana is ready to host the rest of Africa men's football in 2019. And you should bear in mind that there is a bigger platform that is available for Ghana in 2023. That is the All-African game. If we have any planning, if we have any spending, if we have any expenditure, if we have any development of our facilities, that is what I think that we should be looking at, not just rushing to grab anything that counts as football tournament.
You heard Kojo Bajman there.
Thank you, Ridwan Asante, with the latest from the world of sports. Now, the past week seems to have been a sad one for Ghana's disabled community following encounters leaders of the group have described as unfair. It first started with a security man in Parliament allegedly blocking a disabled from accessing the House because he will not be able to stand during the Speaker's entry. Then another group of disabled people was ignored at the Works and Housing Ministry yesterday, which was World Disability Day, as no official of the ministry came down to receive a petition requesting that buildings in Ghana be made disability friendly. Fifi Kumsen has more in this report.
Ask them, so if I'm an MP, am I required to stand if the speaker is rising or is coming? If he cannot stand.
Alex Tete is the head of the Center for Employment of Persons with Disability. He has a complaint. He was denied access to Parliament's public gallery, he says. This is why.
And they said, well, that's the instruction that was given to them, and they are doing their work. So I think that the leadership of Parliament must take note of this and address it, because we all have rights to access the Parliament.
And these rights are guaranteed by the law, the Constitution of the Republic, that's inspired the building code that demands that Ghana's built environment be made disability friendly. That was the message the Ghana Federation of Disabled Organizations took to the Works and Housing Ministry. But here, no one would come out to hear their concerns or receive their petition.
We made presentations of this petition to 3 ministries. We first went to Roads and Highways, and the Chief Director was there to receive it. Then we moved from there to Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Protection. That the minister was there to receive it. Then we moved to West Housing. We gave them prior notice of our coming. This morning we gave them a reminder. We went there and nobody was ready to come down to receive our...
Already, Parliament has been discussing the claim that a disabled man was denied entry into the House.
Fifi Kumsen's report there on persons with disability. Now, John Eustace Justice Baidu has emerged winner of the 2018 Global Health Reporting Contest. Justice's documentary on obstetric fistula, a birth-related injury that leaves women unable to control their urine and feces, and another story on child malnutrition in Ghana earned him the top prize. On his part, Justice was hopeful the documentary would create awareness about the social issues highlighted to be addressed.
I am very grateful for
for this honor done me, not just for myself, but also for the very hard-working men and women at Joy News, at the multimedia group in Ghana, who break their backs day and night producing world-class journalism. I'm also very thankful to everybody in Ghana who allowed me into their lives to be able to tell this very important story of malnutrition.
Justice Bedu there, we say congratulations to him. Peter Sibidi is here with what's trending.
Top 3 trends in Ghana: Modric, Messi and Ronaldo. And at Shiv Patel says, enough of Messi, Ronaldo. Luka is the new winner. End of a 10-year dominance. Congrats, Luka. And the last one is from at Azim, who says, to all Messi and Ronaldo fanboys, you guys can cry as much as you want to, but it won't change the fact that Luka deserved it more than anyone.
This one will be debated all day. Well, that's how we end this edition of Joy 99.7 FM. This edition, I beg your pardon, of the midday news on Joy 99.7 FM with me, Benis Abubedulansa. Top story: opposition NDC sets deadline for picking up forms for presidential primaries, but 2 flag bearer aspirants say they will not pick nomination forms hours to the deadline. There's more news when you log on to myjoyonline.com. I'm Benis Abubedulansa. Do enjoy the rest of your day.